So the Pulsechain ecosystem is looking really good today. Pulsechain breaking out of this downtrend that we were watching. Downtrend we were watching a couple days ago. Stalled out right here, and now we're having a nice breakout. Looks like we're clearing this resistance right here too. Just cleared that. Let's go in on the hourly so we can see it a little bit better. Breaking out, this is really good. So we've got us a breakout happening right now. Now, I wouldn't get too excited here. I wouldn't recommend buying Pulse here. You know, you buy it when Richard Heart is flooding it. Richard Heart is saying that his whole thing has failed and it sucks and all of the single-sided pulls, it's not going to ever exist. That's when you get into his stuff. I know it's hard to do, but that's when you get in. So I wouldn't be surprised to see us maybe push a little bit harder, a little bit further, and then we pull back. And what we'll be watching after that pullback is we will look to see if this support here holds and if we can just continue to push and make these higher lows. Ultimately, I'm still looking down here at the RSI. We never got oversold, but if I go back to the early Hex days, which I was around for, Hex did not get oversold either in its early stages. It actually did the exact same thing. So are we right here for Pulsechain? I'm gonna say yeah. Pump my bags, man. Pump it. Yes, we are here. RSI is pretty much identical on the daily chart, so we don't have to get oversold. We know that these prices are pretty much where most of the sacrifices are as far as what rate they got, 0.0001. But we do have this range right here where whales got in, but I don't think that whales are going to see these prices. I don't think they're going to get threatened, but we could pull back over and threaten this low right here. Maybe one more rollover, but it's looking good. It's looking good. I think if anybody was going to sell, they've already sold. And I think it's time for us to at least go run to this here. Let's look at PulseX. PulseX also breaking out. It's up 21%. We do have a tweet from Richard. I wonder what PulseX farms single-sided pulls instead of farms experiment would do. So he's insinuating that he's going to add, you know, here he goes again. Like, I can't with this dude. Here he is again saying, getting everybody excited about single-sided staking. And then what I imagine is he'll probably add tokens that aren't PulseX. That's just what I'm expecting. But we're seeing a run on PulseX right now. It's probably the speculation on that. A nice break of this resistance. Much better break than Pulse. Really clearing the short-term resistance level right here at 3.3, pushing 3.6. The next level I want to see is I want to see it start pushing these wicks right here. We'll just throw it up here. So we can delete this. And yeah, like I've been saying, when the trend starts to turn the corner, as we see the low start to flatten out, it's a good sign that we're going to reverse and go the opposite way. As we can see here, the lows have made higher lows. Now we're making higher highs on a short time frame. You know, we can pull up a shorter time frame here, and we can see that we are starting to gradually make an uptrend. I mean, this is barely an uptrend because the lows are barely higher, but the highs are definitely higher. Looking at Ink, Ink's looking good. Now, what I've been saying on my members videos, look out for Ink. If Ink starts to push, I would even dare I say Ink is the reason Ink is pushing the entire ecosystem up. Because if we go to PulseX and look at the farms, these farms, the APRs go up as Ink goes up. So if Ink has a pop, all these APRs are going to go up. I remember this yesterday was in the 130s. Now it's in the 140s. If Ink keeps going up, the APRs are going to go higher and higher, and it's going to look better and better and more appetizing for people to buy Pulse and get in. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is Ink's doing. Ink is getting making everything go up. Hex on Pulse is looking good. Now it's at 2 cents, which is not high considering where it's been, but it's good to see that it's going up, if not more. Let's see, not quite more than PulseX, but it's going up a lot more than Pulse. So we know the whole situation with Hex on Ethereum is having a hard time. I've put this chart on to show Hex on Pulse and Hex on ETH. They were performing nicely together, but the dare I say peg has seemed to break. Now it does look like it wants to break out here. It does look like it wants to try and break out and push. Maybe it's delayed. I'm still buying both hexes. My logic behind that is some days the Ethereum payout will be better than other days. The T-share price, things like that. I just want to be in both of them. Neither one of them is going to die. But one may outperform the other, and that's what we're seeing with PulseX right now. And if you buy both of them, you can't be upset. Look at More. More is doing really good. 26K in liquidity, 1.3 million market cap. Dare I say this is the best looking chart on Pulse, bro. There's no chart that's I can't find any daily chart that looks like this on Pulsechain. Let's go to Daytona Finance and see what the staking, 82% on the liquidity pool and 72 on the single-sided pool. So it's still looking pretty good. More buyers than sellers. Simple as that. Now, what am I doing? What's my strategy with this whole thing? My strategy is still the same. I'm in DAI Wrap Pulse. It's the best pool in my opinion. And I'm using the yield to buy Pulse and buy anything else. So I've been buying Pulse, which I use to then farm P's in. And then I'm buying whatever I really in the mood for. Lately, I've been buying Hex and Ethereum Hex. And I build those up. I build those two up over the week. And then at the end of the week, when I get a Hex stake that ended from years ago, I put it together. Instead of selling it, I put it all together and I restake it for longer. With P's in, some people may look at this P's in chart and, you know, start to get a little concerned. But for me, I stopped selling my P's in because it's not really, the mints that I've done aren't really profitable. So that tells me that it's starting to bottom. The same thing happened down here. When my mints started to get unprofitable, it started to floor. So it looks like we're starting to floor again here. I got a few under 0.02. We had a space yesterday with Razfan, and he said that Pulsechain DBZen is definitely coming in October, and the DBZ NFTs are going to launch at the exact same time on Pulsechain, and the DBZ NFTs on ETH are at the end of this month. So I want to accumulate as much of this PZen as possible, so I don't have to come out of pocket for DBZen on Pulsechain, which is going to be basically you earn Pulse rewards. Pulse is looking good. Don't buy tops. Just maybe wait for a pullback, but you should have been accumulating. I mean, you're on Pulsechain, right? What are you doing? You should have been buying anyway. So Pulsechain is probably the most bullish thing in crypto outside of ordinals. So it's either you're either Pulsechain, ordinals, or Zen. It's the only thing that's going on. Peace.